They laughed at her old shoes, her simple lunch, and her worn-out bag. To them, Maria was just a poor cleaner, someone invisible. But one day, when a hidden camera caught what she did after leaving work, the entire company stood frozen in disbelief, and tears. This story will touch your soul and remind you what true kindness really looks like. Before we begin, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Goodness Corner, because stories like this deserve to be heard. Maria Alvarez was the kind of woman you could walk past 100 times and never truly see. She was short, quiet, always wearing the same faded blue uniform with a little tear near the pocket that she stitched by hand. Every morning, she arrived at the office before sunrise, carrying her old metal lunchbox and a gentle smile that no one ever seemed to notice. At Harrison & Company, a large marketing firm filled with shiny suits and louder laughter, Maria's job was simple: clean the offices, empty trash bins, mop the floors, and make sure the place looked spotless before the executives arrived. She earned barely enough to survive, but she never complained. Still, that didn't stop others from mocking her. "Careful, she might charge us for breathing near her mop," one of the interns joked once, and the others burst out laughing. Another time, a manager dropped his coffee and sighed loudly, "Maria, do something useful for once." She only nodded quietly, cleaning up the mess while they walked away, laughing. It wasn't that Maria was shy. She just believed kindness didn't need to speak loudly. But behind that silence, she carried a story no one in that building could have imagined. Every payday, Maria would collect her small envelope of cash, thank the HR lady sincerely, and head straight to a little shop across the street. There, she'd buy large bags of rice, beans, milk cartons, and packs of school supplies. The rest she kept in a small tin box for transportation and medicine. Then, she'd take a crowded bus out of the city, a long, dusty 2-hour ride, to a small, half-broken building that everyone called Hope House. It wasn't just a building. It was home to 43 children, most orphans, some abandoned, others rescued from the streets. And Maria was their second mother. She wasn't their biological parent. Years ago, after losing her only child in a fire, she started volunteering at the orphanage. At first, she just helped clean and cook. But when the caretaker fell ill and funds ran low, Maria began using half of her small paycheck to buy them food, medicine, and even birthday gifts. Every evening after work, she would visit them, feeding, teaching, and hugging them goodnight before heading home. But no one at her company knew. To them, she was just the poor cleaner who didn't talk much. One afternoon, everything changed. It was the company's annual event, a glamorous celebration filled with laughter, champagne, and shiny dresses. The executives had planned a fun activity, a secret Santa gift exchange. Everyone drew a name from a bowl and had to bring a small present for that person. Maria, though not officially invited, was told she could help serve snacks. When she arrived, some employees laughed quietly at her plain outfit. "Look, even the cleaner wants to join the party," one whispered. Another chuckled, "Maybe she'll gift us a mop." Maria smiled politely, pretending not to hear. Later that night, during the gift exchange, the manager, Mr. Blake, opened a small, carefully wrapped box addressed to him. Inside was a simple handmade bracelet with the word "Hope" engraved on it. There was no expensive perfume, no designer label, just that small token and a note. To remind you that even in the darkest places, hope can shine through. Everyone giggled. "Wow, handmade jewelry. Must have cost a fortune," one woman said sarcastically. Mr. Blake smirked. "Guess my secret Santa believes in charity." The laughter echoed across the room. Maria stood quietly by the food table, holding her tray of sandwiches, her eyes glistening, but she didn't let a single tear fall. That same night, as the party ended and everyone left, the company's new security officer stayed behind to test their newly installed security cameras, a system designed to track overnight cleaning for insurance purposes. When he reviewed the footage the next morning, he noticed something unusual. There was Maria, long after everyone had gone, picking up discarded plates, bottles, and decorations. But instead of throwing everything away, she carefully packed leftover food into containers, not for herself, but for the children at the orphanage. The security officer watched as she smiled softly, talking to herself. Maybe little Anna will like this one, and Matteo will finally get that cake slice he wanted. He was moved. Curious, he followed the footage from other days, and saw the same thing, again and again. Every evening, Maria would collect food, wrap toys left behind, and take them to that old orphanage. The next day, he showed the video to the HR manager. Within hours, the whole office was buzzing. Wait, she does what? You're telling me she spends half her pay on orphans? That can't be true. But when the manager confirmed it with the orphanage director, everyone's laughter turned into silence. The very next morning, as Maria walked in with her quiet smile, she noticed something strange. The office was quiet, too quiet. The same people who used to mock her were now watching her with guilt in their eyes. Some whispered. Others simply looked away. Mr. Blake, the man who had laughed the loudest, stood by the reception desk, holding that bracelet. He looked at her and said softly, "Maria, could you come to the conference room for a moment?" Inside, she found everyone from the company gathered. On the large screen, paused mid-frame, was a video clip showing Maria packing food at midnight, smiling, caring, giving. Her heart stopped. They knew. For a second, she thought she might lose her job. But then, Mr. Blake spoke again, his voice shaking. "Maria, we're sorry. Truly sorry. We never knew the kind of person you are." The employees began to applaud, not mockingly this time, but with genuine emotion. Some even cried. Maria stood there, overwhelmed. She had never wanted attention, never wanted thanks. But in that moment, for the first time in years, she felt seen. The bracelet she'd made, that tiny word, hope, now shone under the office lights. And what happened next, would change her life forever. The next morning, the entire company followed Maria to Hope House. Seeing 43 smiling children calling her Mama, they broke into tears. Mr. Blake announced the company would sponsor the orphanage permanently. Maria stood speechless. Her quiet kindness had built a family, and now the world finally saw her light.